Bruh, Tank Davis, Manny Pacquiao just became real, bro. And Sebastian Fundora hurting his hand, getting ready for this fight with Keith Thurman is a blessing in disguise for Premier Boxing Champions. And it's an overt, happy, thank you, Jesus blessing for me as a fight fan. Let me explain all of this in this video. We're going to start with the blessing for us as fight fans, for me as a fight fan. And it's very obvious, right? It's very obvious. The pay-per-view ain't worth no damn $75. The card, okay card, good card, you know what I'm saying? Good free card, but it wasn't no pay-per-view card. So the fact for fight fans that we are not about to have to pay for Sebastian Fundora, Keith Thurman, on pay-per-view is a damn good thing for us. It's a blessing in disguise for the PBC because now you got fighters that was on the Fundora card that are moving to the Pacquiao card, and you got fighters from that card that are moving to the Pitbull Roach card to bolster the card. Here's what we have, right? This is what I'm being told. You got the 12-6 card for the Lamont Roach and Pitbull Cruz. That card is going to have Janabek and Aries Landy Lares, the co-main. The Jesus Ramos Shane Mosley Jr. fight is moving to that card as well. And the Frank Martin fight is moving to that card, right? Then you have the Sebastian Fundora Keith Thurman fight and the O'Shaquie Foster Cool Boy Steph fight is moving to the Manny Pacquiao card. Everybody's card got better. By breaking up that October pay-per-view and moving some of the fighters to December and some of the fighters to the January card, that now you might be able to get some money from your boy. You know, you give me Ramos at his middleweight debut. You give me Laura and Janabek. You give me Pitbull. You throw Frank Martin on that card. Okay, now you might get some pay-per-view money from your boy KO. The Manny Pacquiao card is fire now. Manny at the main event against a mystery opponent, which we about to get into. Then you got Fundora and Thurman as the co-main with Fulton versus Foster up under that. Come on, bro. You can take my money now. Now you can take KO's money and you get rid of a bum pay-per-view. Because let's make no mistake about it. See, I get this rap, bro. This bad rep for like, oh, he like a PBC fanboy. He's a PBC fanboy. You can't name one time I ain't criticized Premier Boxing Champions when they give us a bullshit pay-per-view. You can't name one. You can't go through the history of this channel where I ain't criticized them for some bullshit that they do. People just don't like that I point out the fact that they not doing as bad as y'all trying to make them do. And a lot of times, they be kicking everybody ass when it come to generating revenue and building superstars. That just make y'all mad that I tell the truth about them. See, people in this boxing space have a problem giving criticism when it's due and giving respect when it's due. Either you give respect and you glaze somebody no matter what and they can do no wrong, or you hate somebody and you criticize them no matter what, even when they do some shit right. And that's what a lot of content creators have wrong on this platform, and that's why we do what we do over here. Sidebar though, I don't think I need to tell y'all why Keith Thurman and Fundora shouldn't have been on pay-per-view. Keith Thurman and Fundora aren't household names. Thurman don't even deserve a title shot, much less to fight on pay-per-view. He beat Brock Jarvis. A dude started his career at 122. They got knocked out at 140 pounds by Liam Perot. He fought Brock the Croc Jarvis. Beat him at 154 pounds, and that's the fight that gets him a title shot against Sebastian Fundora. He don't deserve a title shot anyway, much less being on pay-per-view. But we are where we at. But you throw that card, him and Fundora do got some names. You throw them on a pay-per-view card where somebody else is headlining, now you making some sense to me. Now, I am being told, bro, that Manny Pacquiao and his team, Rolly Romero is the front runner for the fight. But Manny Pacquiao and his team have their eyes specifically on the weekend of November 14th and November 15th to try to see what the results of those fights are. What's going down November 14th and November 15th, you ask? You got Tank Davis, Jake Paul. And they trying to see what the hell gonna happen in that fight. And that is why Manny Pacquiao's announcement was, I'm coming back on January 24th. I will be fighting on pay-per-view in January 24th. And he ain't announced a damn opponent. I speculated this shit earlier this week in a live stream. I can now confirm that is what's going on. And I'm being told, watch specifically the weight that Gervonta Tank Davis comes in at for this fight with Jake Paul. Watch to see if he's somewhere between 140 to 147 for that fight. And see how he looks. See how he looks. It is crazy, but Tank Davis could be using Jake Paul as a tune-up for a Manny Pacquiao fight. Let me say this. Bro. This is bad news and this is good news. The good news is it means that this Tank Davis retirement shit is going to get killed within a month and a half of him fighting Jake Paul. That's number one. This, I'm retiring after this fight. That's killed. That's dead. Number two, it's bad news because that is a trash ass fight. The fight would be better if Tank Davis was fighting Manny Pacquiao after Manny becomes world champion. But as I said, Manny's team, PBC, Sean Gibbons, Manny Pacquiao Promotions, they want big paydays. This is Manny Pacquiao you talking about. And they don't want to risk losing, bro. They escaped with a lucky kind of decision against Barrios. They escaped that shit. And now if you don't escape Rolly, now that kills a huge mega payday, a huge mega event that you could have with Gervonta Tank Davis. PBC, Sean Gibbons, Manny Pacquiao, they want to take advantage of the 115 million people in the Philippines by putting Manny Pacquiao in there with somebody that is going to make everybody in the world stand up and pay attention. And I'm telling you right now, I told y'all this earlier this week, but I can now safely say, bro, I'm being told that yes, Rolly is the front runner, but Manny's team is waiting to see what the hell gonna happen on the weekend of November 14th and 15th. And we need to be paying very close attention to Tank Davis's weight that he fights Jake Paul at. We need to be paying very close attention to his weight. Straight up. And the only good thing coming from Manny Pacquiao and Tank Davis is, in this war for American boxing, those are two big chess moves by PBC in their war with Turkey. Because they will be ending the year with the biggest event in boxing with Jake Paul and Tank Davis. And then they will be starting the year of 2026 and raising the bar to a very, very high level. To a very high level that's going to be hard to get to if this is indeed the route that they go. I'm still leaning Rolling. But I'm being told, KO, what you said earlier this week, that's what Manny Pacquiao is doing. That's what Sean Gibbons and them is looking at. That's what they looking at. Because Manny only got but so many fights left. And would you rather get the cash out from a loss to Rolly? Or would you rather get the cash out from a loss to Tank? What does Manny and his team value more? Do they value coming back and being the oldest welterweight champion? Or do he value coming back and getting the biggest bag possible so he can go do his shit that he like to do in the Philippines? For somebody that's 47 years old that know they on their last legs, that's already been the 8th division champion and had every belt you could possibly have, that's a walking Hall of Famer and one of the top fighters of all time, because of the things that he accomplished. I would imagine at 47 years old, his priority is probably taking that money back to his family and his people and making sure he can provide in a way that, you know, a Tank Davis fight would give him over a Rolly Romero fight. I'm telling y'all, bro, where there is smoke, there is fire. And we can get mad. We can get ticked off. We can call the fight trash, which I will do on this channel. I don't like the fight. However, we can also say those are big business moves. And Tank has already showed his loyalty to Al, his loyalty to PBC, and trying to help them continue to be successful and be the dominant force in boxing. And if you put a card together and that shit say Manny Pacquiao versus Rolly with Sebastian Fundora and Keith Thurman on the undercard and O'Shaquie Foster and Cool Boy Steph on the undercard, you put that together and you compare it to that exact same card, but at the top of that bitch, it say Manny versus Tank. Anytime you got two people on the card that you can just go by their first name or their last name, you just say Jordan. You know who we talking about. I could just tell you LeBron. You know who I'm talking about. They don't even have to put their last names on the marquee. That's how you know it's huge. That shit gonna say Manny versus Tank. Manny versus Tank. It's over with. So this shit got legs, y'all. Wrap your head around it. Get ready for the criticism. Get ready for the backlash. But don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Manny foregoes his title shot opportunity and instead just goes ahead and sells that loss to Tank instead of risking selling that loss to Rolly Romero. Don't be surprised. So that's another aspect of what's going on with PBC right now. Manny, Rolly's ready to go. Rolly's training, but Rolly's on standby to see what happens November 14th. Does Tank take punishment in the fight? Does Tank get hurt? Does he handle Jake Paul easily? Does he get cut in the fight? What's going to happen? If he comes out unscathed, if he comes out cool, chilling, then you probably finna get Manny and Tank. And last thing too, y'all. Don't be surprised that if they get that fight made, that they don't go to Prime and say, hey, we could put this on pay-per-view, or do you want to pay to stream it to see if we can run these numbers up? Don't be surprised at that either. That if that first fight, that if they don't say, look, we got Manny and Tank done, we want to let y'all, give y'all an opportunity to do the Netflix. Do the Netflix. Do y'all want to just pay for the fight and we don't have to put it on pay-per-view, and let's see how many streams we can get to come to your platform? Let's see how many advertisers want to get in on this shit. How many people will pay for spot ads on this shit? Don't be surprised if the Roach and Pitbull is a pay-per-view, but the Tank and Manny don't get sold to the highest bidder, and PBC see if they can get Prime to go ahead and foot that bill. How Netflix is footing the bill for Jake and Tank, how they foot the bill for Canelo and Crawford. Don't be surprised, bro. Don't be surprised if they not using the Jake Paul Tank shit as a catapult to start their own little streaming shit with the deal that they already got. Don't be surprised at that, bro. So that's what I have for y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think of all that information. I think the PBC is a blessing in disguise for them, that we ain't that they ain't doing no damn stupid ass Sebastian Fundora, Keith Thurman pay-per-view that don't deserve to be on pay-per-view. I think it's great for us to fight fans that actually buy fights. I'm not talking to you pirators. For those of us that actually buy fights, we don't have to pay for that damn pay-per-view card. And now they're dispersing that card and they putting some of the fighters on the Roach card, some of the fighters on the Manny card. And I think it is a blessing for the sport of boxing that it's looking like they're planning for Tank Davis to fight on, because Manny wouldn't be waiting if Tank was retiring after Jake. But I do think it's a bad fight. I don't like the fight, but I understand that everyone from Rolly Romero to Devin Haney to Mario Barrios to Brian Norman Jr. to Terrence Crawford to fucking Jerron Ennis, If anybody in boxing could get the Jake Paul or the Manny fight, they would do it. And having Tank get those fights is a big FU to the sport of boxing and shows that he is the face if this is what they decide to do. Me, myself, I hope it's Rolly, and I hope Rolly beat Manny ass. Straight up. Because I hold Tank to a higher standard. But I am not naive, and I'm not going to sit here and not pay attention to the fact that everything is lining up like they might be doing something and pulling the wool over our eyes. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Smash a like, sub to the channel, share this video. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace!